People have been making 10K a week, 8K a week, 6K a week before COVID came around, because strike nursing is heavily gate kept. I made 30K in 10 days.
But you did get some backlash on it where people were calling you a scab.
I call scab. I'm still collecting a bag, okay? That's what scab is, right? But at the end of the day, there are still patients, right? We've helped a lot of nurses make a lot of money. I have nurses right now doing $8,000 a week as we speak in this economy. I have a nurse, she worked one day and made over $13,000.
This is definitely going to be another podcast where we're shedding light to a lot of nurses that are looking to make income outside of the hospital.
We have nurses that are, they're starting to get burnt out, really tired. So we've been able to help a lot of nurses pivot. We are actually, right now we have 13 nurses that are retired.
This is the podcast that you need to watch from literally the start, like right now.
Before we get into this amazing episode, I'm calling all business owners, coaches, entrepreneurs who got a great product or a service, but guess what? You're having a hard time selling it. You aren't getting any leads. Your calendar is dried up. Podcasting is the tool you need. It's a 24/7 organic lead machine that you need to have in your business.
Absolutely. Having a marketing plan, some kind of way on how to find your clients within your business is the most important way on how you're going to be able to grow and hit all your financial goals. Whether your goal is $100,000, whether your goal is $500,000 or even $1 million plus, you need more eyeballs. A lot of people are finding that ads are way too expensive for their budget. Also, another problem is a lot of people are over relying on other people to grow their business. So I'm talking about word of mouth and referrals. Those are not reliable strategies on how you're going to grow your business. If you want to learn exactly how to market your business and be seen by millions of millions of people, go ahead and click the link down below. I want to invite you guys to our masterclass where we're showing you strategies on how we was able to grow a huge platform within less than 2 years with over 300,000 plus followers across all channels. If you're looking to learn how to market your business and be seen by your dream clients, join us in this masterclass. Enjoy the rest of this episode because this one is going to be a banger. All right, you guys. So welcome back to another episode. Listen, guys, my name is Cody Brown and I got my co-host with me today.
It's Io, and bro, I'm excited for this one, man. Like, this is going to be one of them ones.
I agree, bro. This is definitely going to be another podcast where we're shedding light to a lot of nurses that are looking to make income outside of the hospital. So if you're a nurse, if you're looking to start transitioning outside of the bedside and start making more income outside the hospital, this is the podcast that you need to watch from literally the start, like right now, all the way to the point where we say, thank you guys for joining this episode, right? So stay all the way over to the end. I promise you will definitely get a lot of game and a lot of value from this one. And listen, let's go ahead and introduce our guest. Mind you, this is the second episode that we're doing with this guest again, right? We came on the first time. It was an impromptu conversation and it went viral. So without further ado, I would love to introduce our guest, Nurse Lois Twang.
Woo, 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 woo. That was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Listen, I'm super excited. We're running it back a second time. So I'm honored to be here in New York, my favorite city, with y'all. For anyone who's watching this who doesn't know who I am, my name is Nurse Lois. I've been a registered nurse since 2018, and I've been a full-time entrepreneur for the last 3 years. I actually just celebrated my 3-year anniversary of being full-time in business, and it's been a ride. And so what we do is we help all the happy nurses. We want you to stay happy. We help them make a lot of money with strike nursing, PRN nursing, travel nursing, and then we have nurses that are, they're starting to get burnt out, really tired. They don't necessarily want to leave nursing, but they want to do something extra on the side. So we help nurses pivot to find their nurse exit plan strategy. So I'm super excited to be here with y'all.
Well said. I love it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it's always good to have you on. A lot of progress has been made since the last time,
That's a fact.
We had the last interview. But just for anybody watching this whom they may not know you, just give them a little bit about a backstory, like, your life as a nurse,
Okay.
and kind of how that positioned you or pushed you into entrepreneurship later on?
Oh, that's so good. So I was born and raised in Ghana, West Africa. And so you know how that goes. You got to get good grades, A's, even bringing the B home is kind of like you're pushing it.
Yep.
So I was always raised to do well in school, to, take education very seriously. I always wanted to be a nurse, but in Ghana, most African countries, nursing or healthcare, they don't really pay a lot of money. So it was like, I wanted to do it, but I knew there was no money in there. Fast forward 2006, our family relocated to the USA. And I was so excited. The American dream was here. I'm coming, everyone back home fantasizes about coming to US, everyone's celebrating you. And then we get here and then we are hit with challenge after challenge after challenge. Gotta go get the green card. Visa was an issue. We were immigrants, and I watched my dad work really hard as a dishwasher, and then my mom became a CNA. So we grew up not having much. We had just enough for the basics. We were living with family and friends. And so I really watched my parents, both of them, really like start all over and really like build their life up in the USA. And my mom in particular, she's my inspiration. She went from a CNA to an LPN to an RN. Now she is a psych mental health nurse practitioner. So I think watching her persevere, because nursing is very hard. Like people don't talk, it's a really hard major. Watching her really climb up, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Growing up in Ghana, I was very sick as a child. So I just remember the nurses were always attentive to me. I can't tell you how smart they were, but they always like made time when my parents were at work. So watching my mom, years later go through that path, I always knew I was going to be a nurse. And so became a nurse, wanted to go straight into the ICU because my dream at the time, I thought I was going to be a CRNA. So a CRNA is essentially like the nurse version of an anesthesiologist. And it's really prestigious. So a lot of times in order to become a CRNA, you need 2 years in the ICU. Obviously, at this point, I'm a new grad. This is in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. A lot of times in Florida, I think things are gotten a little bit lenient now, but in Florida, in most states, you are a fresh new grad, you just graduated nursing school, they're not going to put you in the ICU because ICU is really where like the sickest of the sick patients go. But I was adamant I had to get in the ICU. So I started looking at jobs outside of Florida, which landed me in New Orleans. So I worked at a major hospital in downtown New Orleans. I saw a lot. And so I was working there in the ICU. I got my ICU job finally. I worked there for about a year and a half, and then COVID happened. So right around April 2020, I packed up my bags from New Orleans, came out here to New York City. The city has, really, really helped me make a lot of money and also really shaped me as a nurse. Came out here, did my first COVID assignment and kept travel nursing. And I was city to city. It was very exciting. I always tell nurses to kind of like get that out of your system. But after a while, all the up and down, 1 month I'm in Phoenix, I'm in New York, I'm in Jersey, I'm in Houston, I'm in Atlanta, Miami. It gets old after a while. So did travel nursing for about 2 years, got burnt out, did 13 assignments, and I ran into something called strike nursing, which is essentially where when hospitals and union nurses are in a protest or they have some obstacles, the nurses actually have the right to vote to strike, to go outside and protest and fight for their rights. So, I came across that. I didn't know it was that political when I did it. I found out real quick. And, I made a lot of money, and I started helping nurses because strike nursing is heavily gate kept. People have been making 10K a week, 8K a week, 6K a week before COVID came around. And so when I did it, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm talking to all these strike nurses on the strike who do strikes all the time. They're like, girl, we've been doing this before you were born. I'm like, why does nobody talk about it? And so me just going through that experience and coming out, I made 30K in 10 days. I shared it on social media. I wasn't an influencer or anything like that. Barely had 5,000 followers, just sharing it on my story. People started resharing it. And before you know it, people were asking me, like, how do we get more information? And I feel like I kind of like stumbled into entrepreneurship. So that's really how I got here. I'm so proud because now we help hundreds of nurses get connected to their dream jobs, whether that looks like PRN strike or travel nursing. And then, we've had some nurses, they've been there, done that. They don't want to be up and down. And so we help them pivot into entrepreneurship. So that's a little bit about what we do.
Wow.
That's amazing. And I can't even lie, even part of your backstory, I can even relate to, immigrant parents, usually if you're coming from Africa, either your dad's a cab driver, your mom's this, so I definitely know the story.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to see how far, you came. And even with the strike nursing, I still remember when you went, on the last interview we did, you gave out the game. You literally gave out game that nurses went out and executed on to get paid. But you did get some backlash on it, where people were calling you a scab, and I never heard of that term before.
Me neither.
I never heard of that term before, but I was seeing a lot of it in the comments. So, what is your thoughts about nurses taking on strike contracts while the staff is protesting outside?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's the biggest misunderstanding, I would say, in the industry. As a nurse, and I've been a nurse for years, I completely understand when nurses go protest and go strike. There might be striking about the patient to nurse ratio. Like, how can I adequately, as a nurse, take care of 10 patients? And there's only one of me, right? Or maybe sometimes the hospitals, they'll be trying to take away healthcare benefits from the nurses who've given them everything. It's like, I've been, some nurses, they've been there for years, 20 years, they've given them everything, you're taking away the benefits. So, or there's no supply. So whatever reasons that nurses or any healthcare workers choose as a reason to go protest, I support them. And I think that's the biggest misunderstanding, is that nurses who come in and work the strike, we're against them. But at the end of the day, there are still patients, right? And, somebody who's a brand new mom having their first baby,
right,
they did not sign up to have delivery week during the same week y'all outside protesting and striking.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Somebody's dad who has chemo treatments, or maybe somebody who just got the kidney transplant, right? The heart, they did not sign up for this to be their situation this week while, nurses and hospitals are in a beef. So while we support nurses that are protesting, I'm with them. However, there are still patients. And if I know the hospital doesn't run without nurses. Yeah. So these patients still need nurses. So I support nurses who want to go and protest. And I also support patients who didn't sign up to be admitted during this time. And so, yeah, I stand by what I do. I see the backlash, scab. I call scab. I'm still collecting a bag, okay? That's what scab is, right? We support the nurses, but at the end of the day, you don't got to like it. But, we've helped a lot of nurses make a lot of money. As we speak, there's actually 2 strikes happening right now. There's a strike happening in Detroit, Michigan. So I have nurses right now doing $8,000 a week as we speak in this economy.
Wow.
And about a week, or actually about 2-3 weeks ago, there was a strike in California where nurses, actually I have a nurse, she worked one day and made over $13,000. She was essentially stationed. They had nowhere for her to go. All that stuff is still paid because it was strikes. You got guaranteed hours. So, we getting money over here, respectfully. But we do support the nurses that protest. But, I'm helping put a lot of nurses in position to make money.
Wow. And I'm happy you are, you know what I mean? Because a lot of nurses, they are looking for different options. A lot of people have not, they ain't hear about strike nursing.
Never heard about it.
Watching that video introduced them oh, wait, what? You can make this much money in this amount of time during a strike or things like that. So a lot of people, they didn't know that. But what I think it is it's usually a beef between, I don't know if other people might see this, but let's say you work in another hospital, or you might not be staff, but staff nurses hating on the travelers,
agency.
Maybe it's because of the pay difference, but it definitely is a little bit of envy I do see sometimes when travelers or even strike nurses come and work amongst the staff. So hey, if you need to get your bag, get your bag.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
And it's out there for everyone. And that's the game Lois was giving out. So if you wanted to do strike, you had the option to.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And there's also alternative ways. Like you don't have to do strike nursing if you don't want to. We help nurses do PRN. So now obviously COVID rates are not what they used to be, but there are some hidden gem PRN assignments you can take, just kind of like, $100 an hour here, $120 an hour. And people think that this stuff like isn't real because a lot of people gatekeep it. But, you go check in Cali, especially in California. One thing I love about that state, I actually used to live there for about 4 years. And really, I moved there because of their laws with nursing. And most hospitals in California actually apply this. Anything after 8 hours is time and a half. So like, let's say a nurse is in San Francisco, she's making $100 an hour. He's making $100 an hour. Anything after 8 hours is time and a half. So you're already doing a 12, your last 4 hours, instead of it being $100 an hour, now you're at $150 an hour. And then here's the cool part, because we're going to do more than a 12 at some point. Maybe somebody called out, now you got to do a 16. You got to stay an extra hour to chart. After 12 hours in the state of California, anything after 12 hours is double time. So now that $100 an hour is now $200 an hour. So there's so many different ways, and people just are gatekeeping. They don't want to talk about it. And so if you don't want to do strikes, you don't have to, right? I don't run a strike agency, but there's a lot of ways that nurses can make money.
So it's almost like you could run towards the bag. Like, do people usually because I've heard where people may go, there may be some nurses, say for example, they live in Florida, but they may travel to New York every week just to work.
All the time.
Is that something that people usually would do?
They do. And I actually used to do that at a point, but I think, hey family, it's Nurse Lois. And what I want to do now, if you're watching this, you're a healthcare worker, I want to invite you to our 5-day bedside to bank challenge. This is a live mentorship where we're going to be holding your hand and teaching you how to go from A to Z in business. You might want to retire. You're completely done. You might want to go PRN, or you just want to make an extra couple $1,000s before the holidays. All I need you to do is go to bedsidetobankchallenge.com. It's going down. We're teaching you business credit, business funding, how to fix your personal credit, how to apply for grants, life insurance, digital products. I'm bringing out some coaches, 7 and 8-figure guests to help you along this journey. So I'll see you there, bedsidetobankchallenge.com. Let's go. A lot of nurses, at least the ones that we're seeing in our community, they're kind of like, they've been there, done that. Nurses, I always say nurses want to get married. I always say, I'm from Ghana, I'm traditional. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to have a family. That's not going to work if I'm up and down the USA. And this is no disrespect to nurses who did. I had a season where that's what my life looked like. And so one thing I'm really proud of in our community is that we meet nurses where you're at. And I find that a lot of nurses right now, they want to work remotely. They want to start maybe a business, even if it's Airbnb, something just on the side, to where they're not having to catch a flight to California, catch a flight to New York just to make, $80, $100 an hour. So we've been able to help a lot of nurses pivot. We are actually, right now we have 13 nurses that are retired. Wow. So they don't work a shift. I hope they renew their license, but I know people who don't even, they didn't even keep the license active. And then we have hundreds of nurses that are PRN, which means they're working once a week or even twice a week.
Wow. That's crazy. You gave so much game, just now, like the strike nursing, PRN nursing as well. Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of that. What do people say? PRN? What is it?
PRN princess.
Yeah.
And
I'm hearing that term
for the nurses. Can't forget about the nurses.
I'm hearing that term just go around lately, and I'm just like, people are just looking for a way to live their life, but also live it comfortably, without burning out, because burnout is high in nursing.
It's high. And let's talk about it, because I feel like, I think during COVID, everyone loved us. We were the heroes. What happened? Yeah. I'm confused. Now, I don't know. People are saying nurses go into it for the money, and that couldn't be more unfair. I always tell people, everyone has a difficult job. There's no easy job in the U.S. Even if you run a business, there's nothing that's easy. But what the work that nurses do is gruesome, because outside of emotionally what you're feeling, because you're going to get attached to your patients if you care, right? But it's a lot of running around. Everyone needs you. You're the therapist. You're the chaplain. Like, you're the family member. I remember my experience during COVID. Family wasn't even allowed in the rooms. So I'm finding myself grabbing the iPad, calling the wife, So it's a lot that nurses do. And then emotionally, we take that on for 12 hours. Some nurses are doing 16 hours. And then, can we be honest? Healthcare is a business.
Yeah.
It's a business. We call them patients, but they're really clients, right? These clients have an offer. One night in the ICU might run you $1,000, like ER, right? These are all offers. So I think once I started having an aha moment and I started seeing nursing for what it is, it's a business.
Yeah.
And in order for these hospitals and these facilities to be profitable, even if it's a nonprofit hospital, they got to be profitable, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of times they will actually understaff. I'm sorry. They'll understaff and overload the nurses. So now I got 10 patients and there's just one of me. That is crazy. Right. And so then the nurse gets the backlash. Oh, you didn't bring my water on time. Oh, you didn't do this. And it's like, I had to do CPR 10 minutes ago. Right. I had to catch something that maybe the doctor missed. A lab came back critical. A lot happened. Right. And so I think it's very unfair, the narrative that's going around. I don't know what it is. I don't know who we made mad, but the work that nurses, all healthcare workers, CNAs, LPNs, like doctors, it's so much. And then emotionally you go home. You got your own problems.
Yeah.
So, shout out to all the nurses. And, I really hate to see like the disrespect online, the lack of respect. It's a lot. And people really, they wouldn't last 12 hours in the ICU. They wouldn't,
so true.
Like, it's not easy work.
And what's even crazy is that, when you think about even the way the hospital and everything is kind of ran, nurses are the closest to the patients. So any issues with the hospital, we get in the flag for it.
Yeah.
Like when it's time, when the food's not good, who they throwing the tray at?
The
You know
nurse.
what I mean?
The nurse.
Or like, certain things, lack of supplies and things at all. The nurse is like kind of like in that first line of defense, while the CEO of the hospital is sleeping good.
Somewhere
at
in
night.
Spain. They overseas.
Chilling.
Taking his family out on a helicopter somewhere on a big yacht.
Or even times where it's like, short staffness and, who's suffering? The patients. Because now you can't provide adequate care to them. Now a patient ends up dying. Then now your mental health is it can go really deep. But, and a lot of nurses feel like, they're the ones to blame. But in reality, you got to follow it back up to the top.
100%. And
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I love what you said, because the patients at the end of the day, they get the short end of the stick. Like, they're the ones. And sometimes it even worries me, like, oh my goodness, I hope nobody I love is hospitalized. Because, when you're on the inside, you see
it.
Yeah.
You see it. And there are great facilities. There's great doctors, great nurses. I think it's just the healthcare system, the business of healthcare. The people at the top could do a better job at making sure our nurses are protected or safe. I actually had an incident where I was physically assaulted by a patient.
Wow.
And, they'll blame it on, well, it's neuro. These patients are not in their right mind. It's like, when are the nurses ever going to get protected, right? Because he's not in his right mind. Now I'm on workers' comp. Now I'm admitted in the hospital.
Yep.
And you are just kind of like, okay, here's your 2 weeks workers' comp, come back to work. It's like, you're just expected to go. And I think that's why the business that we have serving nurses is really near and dear to me, because we're very overlooked. It's like, show up, help the patient, smile, keep it going. And I think nurses we're in a really pivotal time, because there's back-to-back strikes happening. Like, these nurses are like, we're not going for this, right? And also nurses are starting businesses every single day. We have so many nurses. They're doing med spa, IV hydration, Airbnb, life insurance, digital products. Like, I really feel like it's like a movement. It's like an era of nurses being like, okay, what else can I do?
Right.
I see it's a healthcare business. What business can I start? So
yeah. What's crazy is that I was reading some article and it said that during that time, I think shortly after COVID, up until now, it was like a mass exodus of nurses leaving the bedside. So I'm saying, I know a lot of people probably saying here like, what are these nurses doing? But I'm pretty sure you're doing a lot of the work as well.
Yeah.
Helping these nurses find new options, such as life insurance. Can you talk a little bit about how life insurance is a great option for nurses?
Yeah. If you're anything like me, the first time you heard about life insurance, or maybe somebody tried to recruit you, you were like, oh, immediately no.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember it was 2018. I was studying for my NCLEX and somebody tried to recruit me into the life insurance business. I was like, oh no. First of all, I'm African, so none of my family is going to get a policy. You can't even, they don't even want to talk about death.
Yeah, they don't even want to hear it.
So I'm like, immediately, no, this is not for me. Then 2020, somebody else tried to get me in the business and I was like, oh, I'm good. You know why I was turned off by it? Because I thought I had to sell to my friends and my family. And I wish somebody would have sat me down from the beginning and said, you don't have to. So anyone who's listening, there are 3 ways we obtain clients inside of the life insurance industry. Way number 1, warm market. It's cringy, right? But it is actually the most important. I always tell nurses, here's the thing. We see it all the time at the hospital, at the bedside. People come in, they were just fine yesterday.
Yeah.
They thought it was just a cough. Right? They just thought they were out of breath. Next thing you know, it's a heart attack. Next thing you know, cold blue. We doing CPR, right? These are people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, just like that. Next thing you know, they thought it was just a lump, it was some stage 4 breast cancer, right? And so I always tell, no disrespect to other industries, but we're not selling waist trainers. We're not selling tea. Now, if the tea works, sell it to me. However, you are in healthcare. We see people come in who were just fine and now they are having their worst day of their life. Yeah. And so what I always tell nurses is, number 1, you're already in the field. We just don't deal with the back end, the billing, right? Because when somebody gets a kidney transplant, they might get hit with a 6-figure bill at discharge. We don't do billing, so we don't get to see, right? All their 2 weeks in the ICU, that might equal $20K. Saline, a bag of saline is $1,000. Just the bed of the ICU might be at $1,000 a night, depending on where you're at. And so what if somebody would have sat them down a few months before their admission, a year before their admission, years before, to say, oh, you're young. You could get up to $500,000 and it's not even gonna cost you $30 a month. It's not even going to cost you $25 a month. Now, it depends on your health and your age. Obviously, the younger you are, the cheaper coverage is. But there are so many benefits to having life insurance. And you can utilize these benefits while you're still alive. Right. And so I always tell nurses, people always say, oh, I don't want to sell. I don't like sales. And I used to say the same thing. But you're not really selling. You're serving. Yeah. Selling is serving, right? And so I think it's come really natural to nurses. The clients also trust you more. The minute you tell them you're a nurse, they don't even feel like they're in a sale. Yeah. They're just talking to a trusted professional. So we got warm market. We have leads. So these are people who go online, or maybe they see something at a funeral home, or they're at an event, they scan something, they fill out their information. They're essentially raising their hand. They're saying, hey, I don't know what I don't know. I've heard different things. There's so many different types of policies. I need somebody to reach out to me and give me some information. So that's leads. And then senior center, you're going to these nice residential areas where it's like senior living, and you do a lunch and learn. You provide pizza, and then you just educate them, right? And then whoever is interested, they'll come up to you. Y'all set up a time and you can help them out with the policy. So those are 3 ways. And then also merging my love of entrepreneurship, digital products, right? You can throw a webinar where you educate people. You could get these people from Facebook pages, right? You can, run ads of your own instead of paying for somebody's leads, right? And you can incorporate having a live event where people come, right? You educate them. There's nothing to buy at the end, but at the end they can join your free calendar, schedule a time, and then see what works for them. So nurses are really crushing it with that, especially with leads. There's a script. I always tell people, if you can read a script, you can sell this policy. And, yeah.
Yeah, sorry to cut you. And also too, like the fact that you're helping nurses to be able to make money in the life insurance industry. Like, I'm pretty sure nursing school is not the easiest task to do. like you're going to school for about what, 3-4 years? Is it 4 years?
Yeah,
like
3 or 4, depending like if you do your associates or your bachelor's. Yeah.
So like, what's the requirements when it comes to, life insurance and stuff like that?
I love that you brought up that point, because I always tell nurses, you've done harder things. Like the discipline, going nursing school is a beast on its own.
Yeah.
So people tell themselves these stories. I'm not disciplined. I'm not consistent. I'm not like you, Lois, and whatever stories that they've made up in their head. But you are disciplined. You stuck through years of studying. You failed some tests and you bounced back. You are resilient. You literally have all the traits you need to be successful in business. Every healthcare, you're a hard worker the minute you pick healthcare, okay?
Yeah.
So I always tell people you've done harder things. To answer your question, you will need to get licensed. So there's a state license exam. It's not easy, but it's not hard, right? If you could pass NCLEX, you can pass this test, right? We help people get licensed in 7 days. We give you free study materials. All you got to do is pay for your fingerprints with your state, pay for the test, get licensed. It's going to cost you $200, give or take, depending where you live. So, and those are the businesses I love. I don't like a big startup cost. No disrespect to Airbnb. They catching us straight right now. But it's like, I don't like businesses where I got to go spend $2K on rent. Then I got to spend $5K on furniture and then do this. And then it's like 6 months in and then I'm in the green. No, I like really low cost startup businesses. And I think that's why life insurance works. So you got to get licensed. You got to get a background check. They got to make sure, you don't have anything crazy going on if you're going to be helping clients, and proper training. So there are different companies that offer great training. I always tell people, get some type of coaching, join some type of community that's not who brought you in the business, because they can teach you some strategies that your company doesn't know. Like, I didn't know about senior centers. They ain't teach that at my life insurance company. I got that from a coach. And once you are licensed, ready to go, you're properly trained, there's no reason why you can't go at least at minimum make an extra $1,000 a week. And for nurses, really, that's enough to cover their rent, their mortgage. Yeah. And that's really enough to at least go part-time at the bedside.
Right. And that's so good that you mentioned that, because, a lot of times is like, if you're showing up and doing these, 1 to 2 tasks at least a month, where you're going to a senior center, you're dialing the phone for a few hours, you're reaching out to the people that like, this is just ways on how you're able to make more money.
100%.
So
and
good.
I think everything changed for me when I realized it doesn't take an hour to make $50. Like, if you think about it, let's say the average nurse, give or take, if we average, high paying states like California and then maybe something in the South like Florida, let's say a nurse is making $50 an hour. It's like you worked an entire hour, gruesome, to make $50. I think it's crazy. And for so long, because we're programmed to work hourly and think that we are worth $50 an hour, but you're not. You could do one policy and make $1,000 in an hour. Wow. $700 in an hour, right? I just actually earlier today, I posted something on my story. I just received a payout, $3,600. This was one policy I did. And I did the math. I said $3,600 divided by $50. 3,600 divided by 50, that is 72 hours. If a nurse wanted to make $3,600, she would have to work 72 hours. And this 1 hour policy paid me $3,600. So I say that when you start really realizing, like, your time is really like priceless. Like $50 for an hour of your life. Yeah. So if you can learn a skill set, and that's why I'm really passionate about business, right? Like, I love life insurance. I love the idea of people creating their online business, monetizing their knowledge. But whatever it is, I don't have to be your girl, but I tell everybody in healthcare, like, when you have that aha moment, it don't take an hour to make $50, then I want you to start that business, whatever that looks like for you.
That's good.
So when you initially started, like, how long did it take for you to get that first check?
Great question. Actually, my very first month being licensed, so I got licensed September 2022. That first month I made $4,000, but I was leveraging my coach who brought me in, right? She was actually a nurse as well. Shout out to Susie. She's a retired nurse. She was my charge nurse in the ICU. I was living in LA at the time. And so I didn't know what I was doing, right? I would be on these training calls, but you know, I would like sit in and kind of watch her run the presentation, you know, take a percentage because she was kind of doing the work for me. And so, yeah, my first month I made $4,000. And I think, you know, it's not life-changing money, but I'm like, yo, I can make money non-bedside.
Yeah.
So I kept going. And then it's so crazy. I got licensed September, and then October 6th, scariest day of my life, I got physically assaulted by a patient. And, you know, I was grateful I was licensed, but I was so new. I really didn't know what I was doing. But as I laid in my bed, because I was on bed rest for 2 weeks, and I was on workers' comp, and I was being rushed. I had 2 weeks to essentially heal up. And there's no timeline on healing, especially when, you know, you're getting brutally attacked by a confused patient. So 2 weeks into my workers' comp situation, the hospital's like, you know, we need you to kind of come back in. Keep in mind, my doctor would not clear me. She's like, you're not ready to go back into work. But then it's like, I need money.
Yeah.
They're only going to pay me for 2 weeks. What else am I going to do? Right. And so for me, I think that wasn't my tipping point, but that was really like, wow, Lois, you really got to take this opportunity seriously, because now here you are bedridden. You can't get up. You're not even clear to go back into work, but because they're only going to pay you for 2 weeks, you have to like speed up, hurry up, you know, it's short staff. And so I think anybody who's watching this, regardless of what you do for a living, but especially if you're in healthcare, you definitely got to have some type of way to make money outside of the bedside, so you won't be controlled.
Sorry to break this amazing episode. I just have to let you guys know the best tool for marketing in 2025 is podcasting. Listen, it transformed our lives. Across all platforms, we was able to hit 15 million plus people. Imagine what it did for our business. To mention, we also have some notable likes just through podcasting. People like Usain Bolt, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Garnett, Stephen A. Smith,
Cedric the Entertainer, Queen Latifah. But more importantly, having engagement by your dream clients is probably the most important thing that will move the needle for you and your business. So what we want to teach you is exactly how to go out and start creating amazing content that will find your dream audience to go ahead and start paying you for your products and your services. If you want to be able to learn exactly how to build up an audience and build up a brand online where people start knowing you, liking you, and buying from you for your products and services, what I want to do is invite you guys to our next free masterclass where we're showing you exactly how you can start taking your content and being seen online by your dream clients and possibly some celebrities as well. Go ahead and click the link down below, and I'm going to see you guys in that next masterclass. Yeah. You know, it's so crazy because, again, Lois, this is not her first time on a pod, you know. Definitely is basically family at this point. And she invited us to the Nurses Week that she had out in New York this year, 2025. And we had the opportunity to meet a lot of her nurses, you know. Shout out to her top 2 nurses. She got Shanae and what's the other? There's somebody else. I forgot their name.
So at the New York event, we had so many nurses, Shanae and then Camille, who's also retired.
Right.
Yeah. I like to do events every single year. So Nurses Week is May 6th through May 12th. So if you know a nurse, you know, keep those dates handy. So what I like to do every single year is essentially throw like a huge celebration for nurses that are inside of our community. It's free. It's always top tier, premium. So the last 2 years we've done it in LA. But this year,
I've seen that on the stories, by the way, too.
Nice rooftop setup. And it's free. We had amazing food, open bar, you know, eat up, drink up. And it's really just like my way to, you know, thank them, because, you know, when people invest their hard-earned money to join your community or join your anything, it's like, I don't take that lightly, especially because I know like you had to work to invest that money, right? So yeah, we had an event. It was amazing. Shout out to you all for pulling up. And yeah, I'm super proud. We have a lot of nurses. Like I know you mentioned Shanae. Shanae is also retired, right? Camille's retired. I actually was just with Camille earlier today, and we have nurses that, you know, they love it. They don't want to retire. Like they love it there, you know? So, you know, they're doing really well in life insurance. I have mentees that have their own communities. They're running their own webinars. They have their own mentees. They're hosting their own events. Shout out to Nurse Lovely. She's like the queen of PRN nursing. Like she's literally taken everything but really niche PRN. She literally just dropped a reel where last month she made $29,000
as a nurse,
just PRN. We're not even talking life insurance, we're not talking business. So she's really like the queen when it comes to PRN nursing. And so like she has her community now, she has her students, she's helping other nurses get to the bag. I think that's what it's really about. Like I think the biggest flex is like when you can like duplicate yourself. And you know, some of them is like the goal is that you are better than me, right? And you know, they're killing it. I have months where I'm like, I trained them, but they out earning me in life insurance. What is going on? So super proud.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely remember that event. It was a dope event.
That's a fact.
You know, it was at a great restaurant. And even, you know, attending the event, I told Cody, like on the walk-in, we had ran into Thames before we even stepped foot inside.
Got Thames in the building.
So that one, I was like, wow, this is like, you know, this is really nice. And there's, you know, you went all out for your mentees and for that event. And I remember speaking to some of your mentees, and a lot of them, you know, they face some of the same challenges that we were talking about. They're burnt out, looking for a way out. Some of them, you know, they're like, hey, you know, I'm about to purchase my first piece of content. Some of them is working on the life insurance things. So they're all making their own progress. And it amazes me to see that everything stems from, you know, you creating that environment for them. You know what I mean? And I definitely want your take on, like, how do you create such an environment like that? Like, you know, everybody's talking to each other, everybody's helping each other, right? You know, it's like a kind of like a family, basically.
It really is a family. I would say one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of entrepreneurs make is that they're always trying to get these new clients, new leads, right? Comment the word. Oh my goodness. And it's just like you've already acquired a lead, right? You have people in your community. A lot of our clients in our online business are repeat customers. Maybe they came in through the community, then they upgraded to this other community, or they came on the trip, right? When people get on a trip with you, they get to see your energy, or even if they, they meet you in person for a real event. Everything is AI, everything is virtual. Like, get outside with your community. You know, they get to see like, oh, Io's cool. Like, Cody's a real person. He's so genuine. You can't fake your energy. So now they're like, okay, sometimes I'll do an event. There's no offer, right? And then they're reaching out to me. Hey, I think I'm ready for this. I'm ready for that. Like, we didn't even bring up the opportunity. So I think that's one of the things that I see a lot of business owners, they don't do enough of, is really like nurture their current community and just really love on the people. And I think, you know, that can maybe come from my heart as a nurse, like just naturally wanting to serve and care for people. And then also I think our community is very close because I always tell people, I'm not here to be the star. Okay. Like it was my idea. I started the community, but I'm still learning things, right? I don't have an Airbnb. I have nurses, like I have a nurse, shout out to Nikita, the Airbnb RN on Instagram. She has over 8 different Airbnb units. Wow. I learned from Nikita. So setting up the community in a way where we learn from each other, right? It's not because Lois created it, like she's the star. You know what's so crazy? I always tell people, like, I don't even know how I got here with entrepreneurship. Like, I'll host a trip. They're like, get in the middle. We're doing like a TikTok or a video. Get in the middle. I'm like, I don't want to get in the middle. You know, I don't really do too well with the limelight. I'm learning to embrace it. It's part of the game in business. But I think really making sure everyone feels seen is huge. That's what it is, feel heard, whatever their expertise is. I let my mentees teach classes, right? They get to know each other without me. So when we pull up to event, Like, they're excited to meet me, but they like, oh, that's Shanae. Oh, Cher. Oh my God. I recognize you from Zoom. And that takes the pressure off me, because as an entrepreneur, believe it or not, I'm an introvert. So they talking, they mingling with each other. I'm like, okay, cool. I could just sit and eat, like, so it really is a family, and people say that loosely, drop family in the chat, all these things. But like, I really pride myself on, they are family. This past weekend, my mom was in town. Like, I've literally spent my 26th birthday, I flew to New York. I love it here. I'm always in New York. I spent my birthday with my nurses. My nurses have met my mom. They've met my brother. So just, I think they can feel the energy. They can feel the love, and just, them knowing that they are appreciated. And I think that's how you get referrals as well. That's how you get repeat customers. One thing we've recently implemented in our business is actually hiring somebody whose their sole role is to make sure clients are happy, right? So this is a gem for all entrepreneurs watching this. If you have an online business, or even you have an in-person business, like, we just recently hired a VA. Her name is Sierra, and all her job is to check in with students every single week. So maybe week 1, they're studying for their license. Hey, how's studying going? Let me know if you run into any hiccups, right? Logging into the platform, let us know, right? The nurse says, oh, I'm good. It's going good. Okay, week 2, because we tell people you got 7 days to get licensed. You could get it done. So week 2, how's studying going? Are you licensed? Yeah, oh, yes, I'm licensed. I'm kind of confused about the fingerprints. Where do I go? We helping them walk through that. Okay, week 3, are you licensed? You got your fingerprints. All right, did you get the script for the leads? How you feeling about it? Do you want to send us an audio, right? Do you want to set up a role-playing session with one of our support coaches? Like, systemizing the business so that your current clients are happier, more successful, and then they go refer, and then they go upgrade, right? And also, another thing I'll give any entrepreneur is also incorporating an onboarding and an offboarding process. I recently learned this. Shout out to Stacy Chushel. I've been binge watching all her content. I plan to join her mastermind. She's very big about systems, and she says, make sure you have an onboarding process where people have their expectations. Boundaries as an entrepreneur can look like you letting people know these are my office hours. Okay, so if you see me posting and I'm outside at 10 p.m. and you didn't get a response from your email, you were outside of business hours. We'll get to you during business hours. So that could be part of onboarding, letting them know these are our office hours. And then offboarding, right? How many times do you join a program? After the 8 weeks, after the 90 days, whatever, that's it. Like, no, nothing like. So we've recently started incorporating an offboarding call where we're getting feedback. We want to improve. Like, what did you like? What didn't you like? And also, offboarding is low-key like a play, because if you're getting positive feedback, you can ask them, okay, well, if you love the 8-week program, have you heard about our premium program? Or why did you not join it if, that opportunity was already made to them? And so instead of trying overly hard to get all these new clients, if you just make sure your current clients are happy, they're getting results, they feel like somebody's checking in on them, right? You incorporate an offboarding process. Even if they thought they were gonna leave,
we still might have something else.
They extend. Wow. And so that's why, I would say our program, not perfect, right? But we have a lot of great results and happy clients.
Now I can see why, with you and your business, how you guys are thriving, because you have these small little systems, not small, but like these small little things that almost like guarantees that a person would win in a way. You get what I mean? Like, just checking in on somebody. Just like, checking in. How did things go for you since you took your test? Do you have to retake it? Did you do your background? Did you schedule your next appointment? Things like that. So it makes a lot of sense.
Because you're gonna have people in a mentorship, in a community, whatever it is, and not everyone is super vocal, and they're not gonna share that they failed their test, right? But maybe one-on-one, they're gonna be like,
they may let you know.
So, and then a lot of coaching programs, it's like people feel like they're one of 200 on a Zoom. Is you and 300 other people in there. And so for me, it's not the best strategy if you want to scale and make all the money. But if you really want to make sure that you get all the results, I put limits on my programs.
Yeah.
When it's closed, it's closed. If I say I'm taking 10, I'm taking 10.
Yeah.
And it's not about the clients. It's about me. I don't want 200 mentees. Like, I'm going to go crazy. 200 people texting and calling me. That's crazy.
Right.
So I know my capacity as a coach. For me to be a good coach, right, maybe this is how much I can take, or this is how long I can go. And I think that's a big reason as well why, people feel seen and heard, because I'm not overwhelmed as a coach.
And the thing I realized about you as well, like watching you indirectly, is, like Lois is very good at saying, hey, listen, like the program is closed. Like she will close it for months, like do what she's doing and focusing on whatever she's focusing on. And then whenever she's ready, she will go ahead and, reopen that program. So like, for example, if a person is interested and the program is closed, like what do you usually would do with them?
So that's a great question. So if the program is closed,
that is money. I mean,
yeah,
that's opportunities, right?
It is opportunity. I think for me, I always tell people I'm the coach who actually writes life insurance policies. I have a huge team. It's a 7-figure agency we're running. We're doing over 6 figures a month. So I'm still training my team. I'm still in the field. I'm still trying to get clients. So, not to knock, but there's a lot of coaches, they don't do the thing that they're coaching anymore. So they're going to leave it open forever.
Yeah.
They go, listen, that's not me, because I coach out of love, and my cup has to be full for me to properly do it. So if the program is closed and somebody is inquiring, they can join the community where all the stuff is there. It's on demand, so they can watch it. And we'll do like a live class maybe once a month, so they can tap in, do some Q&A. But yeah, when it's closed, it's closed. Like, for example, right now I have a high-level mentorship. It's called Inner Circle. It's actually our best seller, even though it's like the most premium offer we have. And it's closed. Like, and it could be open, because the most recent cohort, we had it running from March 2025 until September. We in November now, and it's closed, right? My coach is going to tell me, oh, I'm fumbling the bag and all these things. But I know for me, I care about the holidays. I don't want to be Thanksgiving and I got to worry about a Zoom.
Yeah.
I don't want to be Christmas. I'm going to Ghana. Okay. I'm letting everybody know now. So I want to be present. And I think my background in nursing, I went so much of my career not being present. And everything is not about money. Nurses, I mean, you could do a strike, you could go make the money, right? But being present, and this even makes me think about during COVID, I was chasing the bag. I was fresh from New York. New York, I was making close to $6,000 a week for 13 weeks. And so I'm like, ooh, I like this. Let me keep doing it. And then I went on my second travel assignment. I was in Phoenix, Arizona. I was super excited to be in Phoenix. That assignment was 60 hours. So I had to work 5 12-hour shifts a week and night shifts, ICU. And that contract was paying a lot of money. This is 2020. So, 5 years ago plus. And I told everybody, I gave everyone the heads up. I'm going on this assignment. I'm going to be working a lot. This is primetime COVID. I'm in PPE, the mask. So respectfully, if it's not an emergency, I just didn't have the bandwidth. And I'll never forget, I was probably on my 3rd day in a row, came home, took a shower after night shift, closed the blackout curtains. I'm trying to get it real dark so I can sleep. And I started sleeping. Around about 2 p.m., I get a phone call. And I was so mad at myself because I didn't put my phone on silent or do not disturb. So the ringer comes on, it's loud, it wakes me up. And all my nurses know night shift. Even if somebody mowing the grass, you're mad. So it wakes me up, and I'm not gonna lie, I was cranky. I'm 3 nights into my stretch of 5. I look, I'm like, who's calling me? And it was my stepmom, Pauline. Now, I'm a mommy's girl. My parents were married for over 21 years. They split up. So if I'm honest, I didn't want to build a relationship with my stepmom it's a long story for another day. But we were just at that point in 2020 where we were building our relationship. She's very spiritual. She helped me get closer to God. I actually was able to receive the Holy Spirit and speak in tongues. And she really kind of ushered that for me. So we were building, and she didn't call me a lot, right? We were building our relationship, so we weren't super close. So I should have knew the call was important. But I was exhausted. I've done 3 shifts in a row. I'm tired. It's night shift. You're waking me up. And I could have had courtesy, and I could have picked up and said, hey, I'll call you back in 2 days when I'm done. But instead, I was cranky. I was annoyed. I just, turned it off, didn't pick up. In my head, I could call her back another day, and went back to sleep. Working, not prioritizing family, relationships, friendships, just working, get into the bag. I'm getting off after my stretch of 5. I'm like, yes, I made it 60 hours, COVID. I clock out, grab my phone. This is my last day of 5. I've done my nights. It's 7:30 a.m. I'm headed to bed and enjoy my day off. I look at my phone. I'm seeing all these missed calls. My dad, family members. What is going on? I'm calling dad. Nobody's picking up. Calling my brother. And then eventually I get a hold of somebody. I think it was my dad. And essentially he's like, Paulina's dead. This is somebody who walked every day, was healthy, no real medications. What do you mean Paulina's dead? It wasn't even COVID. They said it was a heart attack. Random, sudden. And you know what hurt the most? Till this day, I have to live with this because I don't know what that phone call was about. We don't talk regularly. Was she trying to tell me something? She's not feeling well. At the time, if I'm being honest, I wasn't speaking to my dad. My dad, super African. He hated the fact that I was coming out to New York, COVID. Like, I'm his baby girl. I'm his only girl, daddy's girl. He's like, so he was really against my travel nursing journey, New York and all the things. So we went like months without speaking, and that never happens to me and my dad. So I don't know what that call was about. And it's like, I got to live with that. I don't know. And so I share that because I was too caught up in my 7K a week assignment. Too tired, exhausted to have courtesy to say, hey, let me at least call you when I wake up, or hey. Because we always think there'll be next time. And so I always say that. I say that story really just to really hone in the importance of being present. If you're going to be home for the holidays, be home for the holidays. And this is not just healthcare workers, business owners. I've had rat races in business. 2023, I'm at every conference. I'm getting in all the rooms. I'm networking. Like, I didn't really enjoy that year. I was just telling them a little bit earlier, this is my first podcast of the year. Wow. I literally told myself I'm not doing no more podcasts. I don't want to do a podcast run. I mean, this is family, right? And y'all got the best podcast in the game.
Let's talk about it.
Right? But for me, it's like, I'm done running around, and I want to be present. I want to be more intentional. And it's ironic, this year I've done the least and I've made the most.
Yeah.
So just being present, having systems in place, delegating, hiring more people so that you can also have freedom as a business owner. Because people say, start a business, freedom. It's not free for the first year or two. You're going to be, or even longer, right? So I'm happy we're on the other side of things.
Wow, that's a touching story, though.
It definitely is, and it makes me think, like, a lot of times it's like, you work in these 12-hour shifts, you put in your all into the workplace, and unfortunately, you might have to miss out on certain things, certain events, family events. It's either that or you got to go out, request for permission, just to, even if a family member dies, you might have to go hey, let me let this supervisor know. Let me let this person know. Let me request for time off. So you could see that your freedom is like restricted. You know what I mean? So just to see the things you went through, I'm pretty sure that's why he was like, this entrepreneurship thing has to work.
It has to work. And I think half the battle is like the mindset of like, it has to work. And I would say, you know, we have a lot of nurses that are killing it. And then we also have nurses deep down, they got the crutch of worst case, I could pick up a shift.
Worst case scenario.
You know, job security as a nurse, worst case. And I think that's like the worst mindset you can have, because if you're already thinking about if it doesn't work, like these things are already playing in your mind. I mean, how successful will you be? How long will it take? So that's one thing that we even do in the program is like, it's very holistic. We do mindset coaching. We have therapists coming in, you know, because a lot of things, it's not just the strategy of this is how you do it, this is the script. It's like getting you to see yourself as the business owner. I always tell people right now I'm operating in Lois 2.0. Like talking, speaking. I had a keynote. I'm like, oh, I'm doing all the scary things. Right? But I had to really see myself as a higher version of myself in order to execute and lead other people. Yeah. So it really is all mindset, and that's something, you know, we're very big on, because I could give you all the strategies, but if you don't think it's gonna work for you, then it's not. Whatever you think is true. So if you think it's not gonna work for you, it won't work for you. But if you think this is it for you, it will be it for you.
Yeah. And shout out to you, because you winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm trying.
Lily, you ain't trying. You definitely doing for sure. You definitely doing for sure. Shout out to you in your first bust down, $300,000 a month and all of that.
I love it.
It looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely crushing it for sure.
Yeah. I feel like it's overdue. Like I literally.
Long overdue, yeah.
And you know what's crazy? I didn't even know I was like an ice girl until I went in the jewelry store. I'm like, oh, I thought I was gonna get a plain Jane Rolex, because I always like watches. And I saw the ice. I said, ooh. So I feel like my alter ego came out. Yeah. But the reality is, when you work hard, you should get something nice. Vacation, do something nice for your parents. Next month, I'm taking my dad to Ghana. Oh, nice. We're going to spend a month together. I'm flying him out first class. He's African. He ain't never sat no first class. He's geeked, okay? I was just in New York with my mom. She just flew back out. I took my mom to Cabo, Mexico last month. Randomly shot my brother $2,000. Hey, rent, whatever you got going on, here you go. So I think also giving back to your family is really important, because, you know, these parents are praying. Like my mom be up late night praying. I know my dad be up late night, my brother. So, you know, those are like the hidden plays, right? Yeah. It's not always a new strategy you'll learn in a mentorship. Sometimes it's having God a part of your business plan, your family support. And I think a big reason that this year was so good is because I did prioritize family more and more wholesome vibes. I've been having a chance to go back to Ghana and pour back into the country that made me who I am. And, you know,
yeah, I definitely want to hear you talk a little bit about that, you know, because I was going to mention it too. You know, I seen on social media, you was out giving back, you know, and I always like seeing things like that, because especially when you give back to where you came from, because they need it, you know what I mean? So what was your thoughts into that? Did you always plan to give back, or did the opportunity just present itself?
I love that question. And to answer your question, you know what's crazy? We've been giving back for probably the last 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
But I didn't know nothing about like making it a thing, like a nonprofit, a foundation. Every single year in December, we host nurses. So we take about 20 to 30 nurses. Shout out to Alicia. She's one of my good friends. She's the CEO of a company called Nurse on the Move. So we'll do a joint trip together, take some nurses out. We'll enjoy, but it really feels like a mission trip. We go to the orphanages, the widow shelters. We give back to patients. And so I think we've been doing the work as part of the trips, but I never really saw it from like a business angle. Like, hey, you can make it a nonprofit and the government can help you fund some of these things. Because donations are great. But like if I'm trying to build a hospital in Ghana, like you're going to need like thousands of dollars. So make it a business, apply for grants, apply for funding, government contracts, like all these things are out here. And it really took me getting in all these rooms. And I'm like, oh, all these things I've been doing. You know what I mean? But it's really full circle because, you know, I'm from Ghana. The only difference between me and some of the kids that are begging on the street is that we were blessed enough to get the visa to come to US, right? All my Africans and even my Caribbeans, y'all gonna feel me. Like a hot prayer in Ghana especially is, God, let me get this visa. Let me get the approval to go to US. They look at US as like, you laying here, life is good. I don't know who told them that. That's what I thought coming in.
Growing the trees.
That's what they think. So, I mean, I'm at church services. People are at the altar. And one thing I love about Africans, the way we serve God is different. Like they need this to happen. And so going home is like a reminder, like I'm no different. Like it could have been me. Right. And so it really hits different when you get to give back. So our foundation is called Health Hope Foundation. You all can find us on Instagram. And what we do is essentially we go to Ghana and we're going to branch out to different African countries and even in the US because, you know, people need help with medical bills everywhere. So what we do is we help pay off people's hospital bills. In Ghana, most African countries, if you don't have cash in hand, there is no service. There's no admission. There's no checkup. There's no nothing. And then you got some hospitals, some that they will bring you in. They'll look after you, but maybe you can't get discharged until your bill is paid off. And what's really crazy is that the bill, if you translate it to US dollars, it's like $200, $100. It's nothing crazy.
Wow.
How we would see it. Right. But for the locals, 200 USD, like people don't even make that in a month.
Wow.
200 USD, 100 USD is keeping a mom from going home to her baby.
So what if they don't have the money to get out the hospital? I mean, they're just going to stay there forever?
They're just going to stay there. It's literally like a hospital jail. That's you know, and as we mentioned earlier, healthcare is a business. So some of them, they'll have a bed. If the census is low, it's slow. But if there's other patients, clients coming into the ER that have cash in hand, they're ready to go, you got to sleep on the floor. You got to be outside. The things
with the newly born child.
So the child usually they'll keep them in their unit, but mom. So sometimes you'll go. I recently just went to Ghana in August because usually I go in December, but I had a really strong pull to go off season. Everyone goes in December. 'Tis the season. People are giving back. What about off season when there's no event happening? The locals are just living normal life. So this August, you know, we did a mission, and immediately when you're pulling up, people are outside, you know, moms outside on the floor and on units. It's really horrible. And this is across like a big city. It's worse when you get into the rural areas. And so it really just breaks my heart as a nurse, even though I'm not a mom yet. I just can't imagine, like, you know, you can't go home because of a few dollars. And so it's not me. I don't want to take the credit for it. We've had so many people, Africa, US, different countries, London, who've been able to donate, and we've probably invested over like $15,000 USD, which is huge money in Ghana to release a lot of families. And there's still so much work to be done because then it's like, okay, they're discharged, but then their home situation isn't good, right? They have an infection. They don't have money to come to frequent checkups. So there's a lot of work to be done in Africa. But, you know, I'm proud to say at least we're starting. And, you know, we'll see where God takes us with this.
No, I love that. Because it's one thing to, you know, get all this success, make all this money. And, you know, it's cool, you know, splurging on yourself. But it's different when you give back, when you go out and you give back and you're able to impact someone's life, especially people who unfortunately aren't living in good conditions. You know?
And you know what? it's like that's where I've learned that that's really where the true blessings and the true favor comes from. Like sometimes I'm like, you know, people just gravitate towards me. They just like me for no reason. Yeah. And it's from you helping people that really can't pay you back. Like people, you didn't get a sale out of them. Like when we go and we discharge these people, they can't do anything for me at this stage, but they might tell me, God bless you. May God richly bless you. And like they mean it. And I believe, you know, that is a huge reason that we're having success is because we don't forget God's people when running business. And that's a lost art. Genuine. Not one of those, go to Africa, do this, record every little thing. That's one of my pet peeves. Like, throw the kids in the camera. Like, protecting people's dignity. Like, how about you do it and not record? That's great. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with recording. It helps push awareness. But, you know, they always say man looks on the outside, God looks to your heart. So, you know, those God bless yous, and may God bless everything you do, everything you touch will be blessed. Like, I don't take those things lightly when I hear it, because it's like I receive that, and I thank you for that. And, you know, from your lips to God's ears. And
and I definitely see that's why you're winning. You know what I mean? Like when you have the heart, you know, to go out and give back, you know, and you're not waiting on anybody. You're just going out. And like, I need to go
not
out.
having any answers. I didn't know nothing about a foundation. Like even now I'm like, for a 501c, I'm still learning all the things, but just execute. And I think that's people's biggest problem. They feel like they want to have all the steps. God gave you the vision. God will bring the people who gonna help you connect the dots and do all the grants and all that. Like, just execute. So I'm really, really proud of that.
That's definitely some great work for sure.
It is. And I did want to touch on, like, you know, you could talk about some of your mentees' success, because I'm pretty sure a lot of them are crushing it.
Yeah.
A lot of them are winning.
Yeah.
So just give like your top 2, top 3.
So they're all killing it in different industry, so I hate to say top 1 or top 2, but I'll give 2 examples, one from life insurance and then one from digital. So I want to start with digital because that is something that I really, really love. I believe if you have expertise, whatever it is, for me it was, I knew this thing about strike nursing and PRN shifts and agency and travel nursing hacks, and I could share it with people and I can charge and they would happily pay and make a lot of money from the information that I taught. You might be watching this and you're really good at something, right? What if you created your own community or did coaching calls? Maybe you don't want to commit to a full program. You know, you just monetize what you're good at. If you're a nurse watching this, I'm like, where is the coach for new grad nurses? I remember being a new grad, having all the anxiety in the world. I didn't know how to give report. I didn't know how to talk to doctors. I didn't even know how to advocate for myself. With, like, maybe I had a mean preceptor. So I want to give a huge shout out to Nurse Lovely. You can find her on Instagram at Per Diem Plug. I'm super proud of her because she's the queen of PRN nursing, and she's been able to take her expertise, create her own community. She got her own courses. She got her own mentees. She ran her own events, right? So it's really, really, I'm super, super proud of her. On the online space, killing it. She's grown her social media, rebranded, all the things. And life insurance, I want to give a huge shout out to Nurse Shanae. Shanae's retired. She's doing big Shanae. Yeah. She's doing about 20 to 30K a month in life insurance, clockwork, no family, no friends. She's killing it. Cher is also killing it. She's PRN. She's doing about the same 20 to 30K months in life insurance, but she loves nursing. So she's PRN. She works once a week. And, you know, we have so many nurses that are absolutely crushing it. So I know you said 2, but I gave you 3. Nah, I can give you 10.
I'm pretty sure you got a whole bunch. And I really wanted you to highlight that because, you know, it's nurses, like I said, they're going to be watching this and they're like, yo, what's going to work for me?
Yeah.
You know, how am I so sure that I could take this route or go that route. In reality, people are getting results.
100%.
People are getting results.
And that's what it's all about. If you don't have results, you really, honestly, it's a two-way street. If I don't have results, I don't have a program. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't, like, I need people to have results, right? So as bad as they need results, I need you to have results, which makes me so excited because we actually have a 5-day event that's coming up. It's going to be everything you didn't even know you needed. Wow. Live 5 days, right? People don't need another course. You're not even going to watch the course, okay? You're not even going to read the ebook. Let's be real. So people need live accountability, live mentorship. So we have something coming out. It's called the Bedside to Bank Challenge. You can get signed up bedside-to-bankchallenge.com, where I'm essentially taking my network of 7-figure earners, my coaches, 8 figures, and literally taking all things business and throwing it into a 5-day live experience with myself. We're talking life insurance. We're breaking it down. We're giving you the how. What is the script, right? How do I call them? Where do I get these leads, right? You know, how do I get licensed? We giving the free study materials, digital products. We helping you create that LLC, right? Make sure it sounds like an actual business, right? Structure it. We're going to do some grant stuff to help you win some grants for your business, for profit or nonprofit, even if you don't have a business yet. You know, there's a lot of free money out here that people don't even know about. I'm literally taking everything you need to know about business, and we're squeezing it into a live 5-day experience. So I'm super excited about that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That sounds like, yo, they're gonna get so much value from that 5-day. Like after that, I'm pretty sure a lot of them, they're going from the bedside. They're going out to execute. So I mean, you know, you're definitely doing a lot of great work, and you know, you're changing lives. Like, to be completely honest, you are changing lives. And what comes with changing lives is, you know, rewards, you know what I mean? And I definitely want to congratulate you on, you know, hitting your biggest month, $300,000 in a single month.
Fact.
$300K in a month is crazy.
Yeah. I definitely want to ask you, because I know somebody's going to be watching this, how did a former nurse make $300,000 in a single month?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to go tactical on that, right? No deep stuff, right? So one thing I always tell people is you need to get in the habit of doing one-to-many events, right? So I could sit and talk to 100 nurses one-on-one, and that's going to take me 100 hours. Or I can take 1 hour, 2 hours of my day, get 100 nurses on that call, and let them know about whatever it is. So if it's a life insurance, different types of policies, if it's a program that I have, if it's strike nursing, whatever that thing that you're really good at, get out of the one-on-one, like do a one-to-many live event. It could be virtual, so a webinar. You could do an in-person event. I do both. And so our 300K month came from events, literally. The first one, we had a 3-day free event. It was called Nurse Exit Plan, where we essentially teach nurses for 3 days. No fluff, right? Not too many gimmicks and story time, straight game, straight actionable steps. And naturally, there's going to be people who are like, you know, these are the best 3 days ever, right? I need more. Or they know, I give all the tools, but people know, like, if it's left up to me, I'm not going to do it. So, you know, they were able to join our program, which is now closed, unfortunately. So I'd say about 40% of that 300K came from there. We also did some numbers in life insurance, went super crazy. And then we also had some numbers from a live in-person event. I hosted an event. It was a private event, actually for my high tier mentorship, my inner circle. And so we got them out in Atlanta. I got some of my entrepreneurship friends to come pour into them. This was essentially like the graduation. Like this was in September. So we were wrapping up, you know, their 6 months. And, you know, going back to what I said earlier with making sure your clients are happy, that client success manager, right? So you're nipping things in the bud when people are having problems. And so we had a very successful cohort. And after the 6-month program is done, they don't want to leave. Yeah. So, you know, we offer them the opportunity to extend at half the price. And you know what's crazy? This is some legendary stuff. We had 100% close rate.
Wow. 100%.
Everyone extended. That's I don't listen, I'm gonna pop it real quick. I don't hear that a lot in the industry.
Yeah.
Every single person live in that room said, I want to do another 6 months.
Wow.
I got too many results, or I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
So we had 100% close rate at half the price of what they initially. So just, doing those events, it's a principle. And we even use that principle in life insurance. When you go do a senior center, instead of you trying to talk to 30 seniors at different times.
One to many.
Yeah, one to many. Just go where they're at, go to your target audience, do the presentation. Whoever says no, says no. But now it only took you 2 hours, and that could be a 10K day.
Yeah.
Because you collapse your time.
That's really good. Honestly and truly, like, there's a reason on why you had 100% close rate. Like,
yeah.
And
you
I
think
always,
so?
I for sure know so. I know so, right? So I like, even when I be talking to Ayu, I'm like, yo, Ayu, like, Lois literally has to be studied, bro. Like, she does things very strategic, very analytical, like, down to the trips in her community that they're taking, like, out of the country. Like, all of that stuff needs to be studied, because now you think about it, like, you're taking strangers and you're actually bringing them together, and now they're actually considering each other family.
Literally,
you know what I mean?
Family.
Like, that definitely needs to be studied. Like, I don't even have the question on how I could probably ask.
Like, what are you doing?
Like, how do you do something like that? Because, like, right now we're in the phase of our coaching program and everything like that.
Super exciting.
It definitely
Congrats.
is. Thank you.
Overdue.
Definitely overdue, but we're here now. So, like, I don't even know, like, the right question. Like, how do you create such a good community?
I love that.
Like, you guys are traveling together.
Yeah, we outside.
You know what I mean? Like, y'all getting stamped together. Most times, like, girls' trips, they might come back and now they're not friends no more.
Yeah, we don't have those issues.
Like,
good vibes only. We can't relate to the Miami stories. I'd say number one, I make a lot of things exclusive for the community. So going back to, like, I focus on the clients I already have. So you can't come on a trip with me unless you're in the community. It's not because I'm trying to be bougie or exclusive, but to protect the vibe check. Like, if somebody random just sees a ad, a flyer, and then they come, you might throw the whole grocery, one bad apple, gonna throw it off. Yeah. So the vibe is always good because I know exactly who's coming, right? They're excited to room with each other. Nobody's a stranger. And even going back to what you said about needing to be studied, I do a lot of things subtly. So, like, when my inner circle is closed, it's literally closed. And people know that, like, it's a tactic that a lot of people use. They'll say it's closed and then, we reopen it. Like, I don't do stuff like that. It's closed. It's not good for business. But it's literally closed. And people know that I'm 3 years in, it's closed. So we'll have a wait list, and people will join the waitlist chat. And I might promote the waitlist in, like, the story. Like, so people don't even really see how I'm out here making these moves. It's like, you really got to study me if you really want to. I'm not really on the time. I'm not begging for clients because the value is there. So our waitlist, we might have like 80 people in the waitlist. So by the time Inner Circle is reopening, I'm not the coach who wants 300 mentees in general. So we might, if you're in the waitlist, you're the first to know. So we might present you what the opportunity is, the investment, payment plans, and then just off the wait list chat that has been bubbling for 2-3 months, all the slots are gone. So, like, the public saw nothing. Like, there was no promo, no rollout, but, like, you doing 100K in a day, like, yeah, and so, a lot of things are done, like, intentionally and subtly. It's never hard sales with me. Like, you're either gonna, like, if you're burnt, like, where you at. Like, I'm not gonna talk too much, what I mean? And I always tell people, whatever you want for you, I want that for you too. So if you want to keep being up and down the USA, chasing all these assignments, if you love that for you, I love that for you too. And I'm not even being funny, because I had a season of my life for 2 years where I loved that for me. I was up and down. I was seeing West Coast, East Coast. So if you love that for you, I love that for you. I'm talking to the people who are like, listen, I can't. I can't. I have kids. I'm away from family. the pay's not even hitting, right? So I'm really looking for my dream clients, the people who have been looking for me. That's who I'm looking for. And and a lot of the things we do is to the community. So the community's first to know about anything, and they feel exclusive. And sometimes, things will sell out before I even get a chance to tell the public. It's like before you know it, it's filled. Like, dang, that's crazy. So yeah.
That's really good. That's really
good. And I see why it's such a family in there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like the events, the vacations that you guys go on together. I could see why they wanted to stay. Like
they love it
course.
there.
Yeah.
And little things like, I was just telling you all off camera, like when I'm ending a program, this goes back into the offboarding. Like I'll do a full blown graduation for my high level program. It's virtual, but we got the graduation music playing. Listen, I had a mentee. I was just showing them. She came up to the virtual graduation. She had a cap on her head.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Proud.
because it's people have invested
Yep.
money and they've seen results. And, outside of even finances, they're different. Like, celebrate these people. Make people feel seen and heard. It's something so small. Everyone gets a certificate of completion. Like this might be your first program ever. You were terrified.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We do awards, right? No disrespect, but my students, they don't pay for their awards. Like we send awards to people's home. I'm not gonna click this link and do all that. Like show people you care, right? I just hosted a trip to Cabo, Mexico. And it was an all-inclusive, right? Nurses love it all-inclusive. I love it all-inclusive. But sometimes the all-inclusive, the food is not, it don't be hitting like that. So I get there a day before. I'm OCD, trying to make sure everything is in line. I taste the food because if this is going to be the welcome dinner spot, I got to make sure the food is actually good. The food was trash. And I'm like, OMG. I could have said, it's all-inclusive. We're just going to eat what we got here. But going that extra mile, like, okay, it's the first welcome. They meeting each other. It needs to be a nice, classy spot. So they didn't sign up to have an add-on dinner. You said all-inclusive when you marketed it, right? So those little things, I want to enhance the experience. I book reservations, 15 of us. We go nice steakhouse restaurant. The bill was like $3,500. And I covered that. I don't need to cover that. You know what I mean? Like we could have just ate a couple ribs at the all-inclusive joint. But and little things like that, like they didn't know how much it cost. I mean, they'll know now. But it's like I care that you have a good experience on this trip. You know what I mean? I care that the food is equally as great as the resort, at least for the first one. And I ran it back. We did another day. We were in Mexico. I didn't want to eat tacos every day. I said, y'all want some Asian food or some Japanese?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to I lost money hosting that trip.
Wow.
People host trips to make money. I lost money on that trip doing things I don't need to do. But I just want them to know, like, I just go above and beyond, and people can feel that. So
They can definitely feel
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
They might not say it, but they see it. you
Yeah.
know? When you guys initially went to the all inclusive, food wasn't good.
Yeah.
Lois like, let's get up out of here. And a lot of times, when they hear that you're covering the bill, they're gonna be like, wow, like she didn't have to do that. So that'll make them feel like, yo, this is more of a family than
It is family.
transactional. A lot of times, some of these mentorship programs is very transactional, and people can feel it, but it's best to really, like you said, love on the people.
Love on the people for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all do a great job at that. I want to give y'all the flowers online. I've told you all offline, but hands down, the best podcasts in the game. And I don't say that lightly. I've done a lot of big podcasts. Okay. The experience here is top tier. It's natural. We are like family. And
Definitely.
the secret sauce is just y'all. It's like your energy. And that's something like I can't really teach you. Like you either have it or you don't. And you all are amazing, amazing podcast coaches. I'm so glad. Now you're going to be helping more people get into the podcast game. I told them, like, I need a podcast for the nurses. Yeah. So I want to give you your flowers. I literally told myself this year, I'm done getting in all the rooms. I'm done running all the plays. Like I got so drained, if I'm honest. I told myself I'm not doing any podcast this year. But then I hit them up. I'm like, I'll do motion and success though. Yeah. You know, because it's always just a genuine vibe. So publicly, I want to give you all your flowers and say thank you for highlighting me and highlighting other entrepreneurs. I mean, this is a great platform.
Thank you for that.
Appreciate you, Lois, and it's always great having you on. Pretty sure we're gonna run it back again in the future. You know, because you're always elevating, you're always growing. So I'm pretty sure next year you're probably gonna be doing something even greater than this.
Oh, next year is gonna be crazy. Stay tuned.
I know you got a whole bunch of stuff coming, so you know I already know you're always gonna be making progress. So it's always good to always catch up. So I definitely see us interviewing you again.
Yeah,
in the future,
part 3.
Sure. Part 3. Listen, guys. Like she done went crazy.
Definitely
on the life insurance sauce. Like we had people that talked about life insurance, but now if you guys are nurses, if you guys are out there looking for more income, if you guys are looking for more, ways on how you can start making money outside of the hospital, like this is definitely the strategies that you guys need to start implementing on your day-to-day schedules, right? Just tell the people, how can they tap in with you? How can they learn a little bit more from you? Because again, I know you're serious about, when your program is closed, it's closed. And when it's open, it's open.
Dang.
Some people might watch this in January. Some people may watch this in November. Mm-hmm. But how can the people learn a little bit more from you?
I love that. So first things first, tap in with me on Instagram at the Nurse Lois. I'm also on YouTube at Nurse Lois. I plan on doing a lot more content for YouTube, but right now my main home is Instagram. I give a lot of gems on my Instagram story, on the feed. So that's where you can kind of go through the rabbit hole. We often offer free classes. So hopefully you get a chance to catch our free class. And if you're watching this, in the month of November 2025, we are having a live challenge for 5 days. So you can go to bedsidetobankchallenge.com, grab your tickets. We might do something special for your people. So check the description. But I'm really, really excited. It's going to be a transformational event. And yeah, that's how they can connect with me. And I look forward to connecting with y'all.
Listen, guys, if you guys want a part 3, go ahead and drop part 3 down below in the chat. I think it's safe to say that this might be another podcast that will definitely take off and go viral, just like how the first one did. Yep. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more about not PRN, but PRN.
Yeah, PRN. Yeah,
PRN, making more money outside of nursing, whether it's insurance, whether it's digital products, whether it's just going out there and just finding different resources. This is definitely the challenge that you guys need to join in. Listen, tell a friend to tell a friend, because this is going to be that one.
It's going to be a good one.
And one thing I'll do, I'll give a freebie, because we family. So if you're watching this, you're looking to get licensed in the life insurance industry, doesn't need to be my team or anything like that. I will give you a free step-by-step guide on how to get licensed in 7 days. Mm-hmm. Free study materials. Any state you plug in my special discount code is free. Get that license, get licensed, and let's get it done. So I'll do that for the Motion and Success family.
Okay. Listen, I told you at the beginning. Stay tuned until we say thank you during the next video.
You told him. You did tell him.
I told you that. Definitely said it. Listen, I didn't know that was coming, but congratulations, you guys. Definitely that is a freebie. So go ahead and eat that up. Have fun with it. And do y'all thing. Any final words for you, bro?
Nah, this was a great one. Lois really broke it down. Your journey is amazing. And, you definitely elevated a lot from the last time we spoke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's always good, speaking to you,
Absolutely.
Even sitting on this side of the chairs, we definitely learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So definitely look forward to this being another great episode.
Absolutely.
Another great episode. And nurses getting impacted.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, last thing I want to say to anybody watching this, right? You might be on YouTube, binge watching interview after interview, and I want you to know that I am you and you are me. I have spent hours trying to figure out what is the next move for me, but I want to encourage you, right? If you're watching this 2025, God can do a lot in just a few weeks, right? I don't want you to automatically start thinking about January, automatically start thinking about 2026. If you're watching this, it's 2025. You can get a lot done in a week, in 2 weeks, in 6 weeks. So execute now. Don't wait on January. Get the momentum now. And I'm super excited to see you. Maybe there'll be a guest over here. Motion and Success Podcast.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Absolutely, guys.
So
So if you guys are looking to learn a little bit more, again, join inside. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace, y'all.
See you.